I don't know what happened to JFK, but the one possibility you've not ruled in is it was just as simple as Lee Harvey Oswald. It might have been. We don't know, right? So when you say the media,
look, I can't even entertain that. Think about it. If you want the God's honest truth, her throwing out the possibility that maybe it was just Lee Harvey Oswald, that maybe it was just Tyler Robinson, that maybe Derek Chauvin put his knee on his neck and killed him. She's like, no, I can't. No, that's just ridiculous. I can't even. You don't care about the truth. You just want what you believe validated at that point. You can't be honest about trying to figure out the truth of something and throw out possibilities. This ain't show nobody nothing. And then you talk to Erica behind closed doors. Like, you want to talk about conspiracies? They got behind them up doors. Candace said, look, shut the f up. I got 50K for you right now. I got 150K, probably 150. Candace like, look, bitch. If you shut the fuck up, I'll give you all of my months YouTube's earning. If you shut the fuck up and we get through this shit. Because TPUSA is failing. Charlie Kirk dead. They ain't going nowhere from this point on. So if you shut the fuck up, half of what I make this month on YouTube, we splitting it, bitch.
You know what I'm saying? Drop a like, leave a comment, let me know you're in here. We finna have fun tonight.
All right, let's do this. This video an hour, so let's get into it. We're gonna speed it up though.
Amid all of that,
I know Candace talk fast, so we might have to slow down some parts for her.
She joins me now for her first interview since the meeting with Erica Kirk.
She look like a duck. I don't know what's happening. I don't know. I think the lipstick ain't working for me right now.
Candace Owens, welcome back to Uncensored.
It's good to be with you at the end of another year.
Yes, and what a year it's been, not least for you. It's fair to say your fame continues to rise, infamy some would put it, but you're always a welcome guest on Uncensored. Let's get to this extraordinary meeting that you had with Erica Kirk. It came right after we saw her say in that CBS town hall, you should stop with the conspiracy theories. So who approached who about you guys actually getting together?
I was approached by Turning Point after Blake Neff, who works on Charlie's show, sort of fumbled this invite. I'd almost say it was a fake invite publicly. And then in the middle of the night said, oh, Candace is not able to be here tomorrow. And they never messaged me. And I think there was quite a bit of public backlash with how they went about it. It was just not the way that we try to set meetings. And so what happened after was they reached out to me, said Erica would agree to do a live stream, just the two of us. And then after Erica's PR blitz, they reached out again and said that they felt that it was better for us to meet one-on-one as opposed to us sitting down having Megyn Kelly moderate, which was the idea originally.
Right. And so where did you have your summit meeting?
At a hotel here in Nashville.
And a lot of your supporters, fans of your show, think that you may have been lured into a trap. Did anything while you were there make you think you were being lured into a trap?
I don't know that a lot of my fans think that I was being lured into a trap. I think ahead of time they had some concerns, obviously, because I think in general, after you see a public assassination and you start tracking so many lies that are happening, there's going to be an understandable amount of angst that people feel. And I certainly felt the angst as well. I've obviously been very clear that I am suspicious of some of the characters that are at Turning Point USA. So I totally understand why the public was concerned.
When you saw Erica, she was obviously angry about you in that CBS town hall. What was her demeanor like when you met her?
Well, I don't think that she thought she was angry in that. I think maybe that was the characterization from the public. I certainly thought she was angry as well. And she sort of clarified that she was a bit annoyed by the questioning, the way in which Barry had set up the question with the podcaster Candace Owens, which I think was definitely being driven more by Barry Weiss's feelings towards me, long-running feelings towards me, than it was perhaps for the benefit of CBS and trying to pretend to be an impartial journalist. So I think she was frustrated by the line of questioning.
I don't believe that. Like, that don't make sense. She said, what do you say to those people pushing conspiracy theories? And she said, stop. She talking about some, I think she was annoyed by Barry Weiss's question. Why would she be annoyed because people are pushing conspiracy theories about her husband's death? Why would she be annoyed at the question and she's at the fucking town hall about the shit?
She explained to me.
No. So how would you categorize
that? Sound like a lie. If Erica said that to Candace, she just didn't want the confrontation. Shit.
4.5 hours. If you were looking at it in totality, what was the tone of the conversation? What do you think you both got out of it?
Well, for me, answers to the questions of trying to understand why there were so many turning point lies and why instead of people acknowledging that these are lies, I felt that there was this billion-dollar psychological operation to convince people that Candace is just crazy. These aren't lies. These are made up. And so I was very
Derek, everything you can't watch, everything don't have to be real time watch depending on what you're trying to accomplish. I can't go into something trying to debunk somebody lying and not be prepared to do so. It depends on what the goal is.
refreshed that they owned up to the lies. That was a great first step. And I think, what motivates that maybe because despite having what I would assume to be the best PR agents and crisis PR agents in the world, we're moving toward a different world where people don't really care. If you are friends with the people at, WME and CAA and what they can do for you, that sort of power is ineffectual in this day and age. And so I think they recognize that and that the public simply doesn't believe the story that they've been fed, and the psychological operation to convince us not to believe our own eyes or to trust our common sense instincts has failed. And I think on their end, they got more clarity on how I figured out certain things, more clarity on why I am convinced that there are people that are inside of Turning Point that are dirty. And I was able to share more with them off record. And I think that they got more clarity in exchange.
Before we get into some of the sort of specifics, is there not a danger here? I've already seen it in some of the reaction from people that follow your show. Is there not a danger that in seeking to be the one that exposes the truth, and I don't know the truth about what happened to Charlie Kirk. I work on the assumption that this lone, twisted, weirdo Tyler Robinson killed him for whatever reason, and I suspect, personally, that is how this will play out. However, I have an open mind in the sense that we still don't really know what happened with President Kennedy's assassination. I found the attempted assassination of Donald Trump very odd in the way that's been handled by the authorities and so on. I'm not naive. As a journalist of 40 years, I'm not naive enough to say every single thing you've been saying is obviously baloney, because I don't know. And we'll get to some of the more specific details. But is there not a danger, Candace, that by having a 4.5-hour private meeting, rather than doing it in public, that all you're really going to do, collectively, actually, you and Erica Kirk, is fuel the conspiracy theories about what you may or may not have discussed in that meeting, what part of the stuff that you've been broadcasting on your show she agrees with and doesn't agree with, and so on. Is there not a danger this is the least transparent way of going about trying to get solutions here?
Well, I'm a very transparent person, so my preference was to do it publicly, but I took the offer, obviously, to have any conversation, because if I hadn't done that, then I think everything I've been doing would have appeared disingenuous. Like, oh, Candace is pretending that she wants answers to her questions, but when she got this offer, she suddenly said she didn't want to go because it wasn't public. They would have felt like I was moving the goalpost.
That's a little fair to her, a little bit, but I just think, now, I get the how genuine it could be to have a conversation off camera, but for all the noise Candace is making, and for Erica and TPUSA to even want to reach out to Candace to have a conversation, it should have been in front of everybody, because it just looks funny, especially coming from somebody like Candace Owens, who's a big conspiracy theorist. To do this off camera looks really strange.
So I was willing to take anything. And from their viewpoint, they felt like after the CBS News and the Fox News hits that Erica did, my understanding was that they felt that it was a good idea to bring the temperature down first by having us sit down and communicate. And that doesn't mean that they necessarily say, oh, well, that's it. Now we're not going to have any other public discussion. I'm hopeful they will. I think they should. I totally agree with you. More transparency, the better.
Who else was in the meeting? Erica was there. Who else was there?
Justin Strife, who is the COO of Turning Point USA.
At least recorded, if
my
not
husband was
live.
there for a portion of it.
At least.
And my cousin.
So there were no lawyers, for example?
No lawyers. But they did phone their lawyer because I asked the question. I was like, look, I'm open to being wrong, obviously. If there is something, which I think the media was kind of hinting at, that they had more but they couldn't share it with the public, I said, I'm happy to keep my mouth shut, and I want to feel good walking out of here that there is something there. There is some sort of a smoking gun, and I will tell viewers just to be patient. And so they did call one of the lawyers working on this case, and it was not convincing at all. He said, in effect, all we have is what the public has seen. And we won't know more because we're investigating and looking for more. And so that just made me go.
The problem with Candace is nothing is convincing unless it's what she thinks. That's the problem with her.
Oh, why is everybody being so over the top and ridiculous and using words like the evidence is overwhelming? It was Tyler Robinson, when they don't have anything that's overwhelming to show evidence. They don't have a video of him taking the shot, which I think was something that I assumed, like, okay, there's all these cameras. Maybe they actually have that video and they're waiting for a moment to release that to the public. They don't have that. Or at least I can say Erica's side has not seen that. And the lawyer communicated to me that they would not have access to that until earliest would be May, that right now they're just investigating, just like we're doing back at home.
Okay, you said that your motive for going to the meeting was that you would be able to come out and tell the world Tyler Robinson killed Charlie Kirk. So are you in a position to say that? Do you believe, as a consequence of your 4.5 hours with Erica, do you believe that it is now most likely that Tyler Robinson killed Charlie Kirk?
Absolutely not. I haven't seen one piece of compelling evidence that Tyler Robinson scaled the rooftops like Spider-Man on a college campus that he didn't go to.
Look how she got to make everything sound ridiculous. Scale the rooftops like Spider-Man. Girl, it's a roof. There's always a fucking way to the damn. Well, not always. But there's often a way to get to the roof from a building. Like, why are you scaling a? Like he climbed it.
And fired one shot, a magic bullet shot, and killed Charlie Kirk.
Wait, why is she acting like it's unreasonable to shoot a non-moving target with a rifle from somebody that actually grew up using guns? Why is she saying it like that? Like, what? There were stairs. Exactly. Like, why is she saying it like this is just she act like some crazy shit. Like, it's some unreasonable thing happened. Yeah, I refuse to believe he scaled a wall like Spider-Man, got up to the rooftop, aimed and set his gun down and hit Charlie Kirk perfectly in one shot. I mean, he wasn't moving. He's used guns before, and it was a rifle. What part of this is just out of the realm of possibility?
Magic bullet shot and killed Charlie Kirk. I have not seen one piece of compelling evidence. In fact, I've seen more compelling evidence to the contrary.
You've seen their vibrant ad. It's set up the characters, bring to life story of bring uplifting.
Pierre's getting too much money to, bro.
Killed her husband. Who does Erica think killed her husband?
Well, I think that in her recent PR blitz, she sort of communicated that she trusted her team, and her lawyer was using kind of the same rhetoric that the media has been using, where, there's really, this is like, it's overwhelming. Maybe he didn't say the word overwhelming, but he was like, it's very clear, I think is what he said in particular. And then I pushed back and I said, what's clear?
This is after this interview is after she spoke to Erica.
And then I pushed back and I said, what's clear? The affidavit? That's all you guys have? And I did tell him, if you would never be my lawyer, because it's just, a lawyer that's just kind of giving you adjectives.
For Candace to believe anything, she has to be there in person from A to Z, because she's like, what's clear? The affidavit? Shorty, the fact that the gun that was used, probably some fingerprints from the person who used it, going through his whole history and seeing that he maybe felt a way about Charlie Kirk, but had no ties to anybody else. Like, it blows my mind that people like her in this day and age can make up these conspiracies as if technology don't tell on you to the utmost. Like, these people, if y'all saw The Good Neighbor, The Perfect Neighbor, I think it was called recently, how they got her on the murder charge in a stand your ground state, because this was years ago, because she went up and looked up the stand your ground laws to see if she could get a free kill on her neighbor. That's what happened. So, and I'm sorry if you ain't see it, but it's a story that's been out. I'm sorry. It's real life. It happened. So the woman, through her computer search history, looked up how to, the rules around stand your ground, so she thought she could get a free kill. Now, these people want to keep acting like everything is a conspiracy and Tyler Robinson was working with other people, and you go through his Discord history, his text messages, whatever, he ain't talked to nobody else. And these people keep forgetting a lot of times, I'm not saying never, but most people do not want to gather a bunch of people in on committing a crime. Like, it don't make sense to get a bunch of people in on a crime. I'm not saying it can never happen, but for sure, you're gonna just risk yourself getting in more trouble by just including a bunch of people in a crime, especially to this magnitude. You're not just trying to fucking steal some AirPods out of Walmart.
And I don't need a cheerleader. I need someone to be practical and to say, we don't have anything yet. I think the communication should be, we are hopeful that throughout this investigation, we are going to uncover more evidence that links Tyler Robinson to this crime. I do feel confident that he was involved in some capacity on that day. As I have said many times on my show, I was the one who broke the story that he was at the Dairy Queen throwing out clothes, a local Dairy Queen, throwing out clothes in a nearby cemetery. And so I do think he was involved, and multiple people were involved that day. And I think he did pick up clothes. I had communication with Lance's family. I had communication with Tyler Robinson's family. And for some reason, Lance is being protected, which I find to be very strange. His own family thinks he's guilty of more, and they find it weird that the feds kind of glossed over him, almost as though he was a Fed operative, like he was working on behalf of them.
Why isn't it just that he didn't do it? What do you mean as if he was a Fed operative? How about he just didn't do it? Is that not possible?
And we've caught the feds have lied a lot. It's just a fact. Turning Point USA people have lied a lot. That is a fact, which they have agreed to. They said that these were mistakes, but they, whether a mistake or not, the public was lied to. So this obviously, matters deeply to me. And it's just absurd that people would think that I'm doing this for clicks. I know Charlie. I knew Charlie. Charlie and I are very close. And it has been one of the most disgusting things ever that people first and foremost tried to start this psychological operation that Charlie and I hadn't spoken since 2019. They've lied about virtually everything that I've said on my podcast. I'm not gonna let this go, okay? We don't live in a country that is the embodiment of democratic principles. If Charlie Kirk gets publicly executed and the media apparatus is doing everything they can to...
Is she gonna win? Because people, the thing is, lying doesn't mean that they was implicated. Like, we know that we've been found out that TPUSA is a shit organization. That's not like groundbreaking or indicative of them trying to kill Charlie Kirk. TPUSA is a shit organization. That's totally separate than playing a part in getting Charlie killed. So you could say like, oh, TPUSA did lie and stuff, but you have no proof of them being implicated in his murder. That's the problem.
Cover the tracks. I would say to cover the tracks by demanding that there is no further inquiry into what happened on that day.
Right,
that is not a country that I can get behind.
Let's get to some of the details, because it seems to me you've put up a lot of theories, but a lot of them don't seem to have a clear conclusion from you about what you actually think happened. I mean, you've been all over this now ever since Charlie was killed. What do you believe happened to him? Who do you think killed him?
True crime.
So I can't tell you definitively who pulled the trigger. I'm not going to lie to audiences and just put something out there that's not real. But what I can say is I feel convinced that the feds were involved. I can tell you that. I think the feds were involved in staging a cover-up. I think Kash Patel knows what happened and did not happen on that day. I am convinced by me being told by people that are feds that he is not acting right and that he is not wanting to share any information. Just a couple of people are allowed to even see anything. A Fed told me that they can't even touch the Charlie Kirk file without risk of being fired, and that he's grown increasingly mad. The U.S. Marshals that were there when they were doing the quote unquote manhunt for 33 hours said that Kash Patel effectively sent them on a wild goose chase, which is what was signaled to the public.
How about this is just Kash Patel's incompetence and not that TPUSA had any parts of this or the FBI. You notice she has to bring in every time something don't make sense, she has to add another party to it. First is TPUSA, then the FBI get involved, then Israel, then Egypt. Like, God damn, what the hell? All these entities got together to kill Charlie Kirk? Like, what?
Said we got him, and it was actually the wrong person, and so it caused people.
And this isn't off base for Kash Patel saying we got him, and it wasn't. I think this was like one of 3 times this has happened with him.
To stop looking because they were convinced they had the shooter. They felt that was in order to allow the real perpetrators of the crimes to get away.
This isn't. He did it after Charlie Kirk. He did it. No, he did. The first time was Charlie Kirk. Then he did it 2 times since.
Right, but that could just be the fog.
Oh no! Wait. Is that? I don't know if it was one before Charlie Kirk or Charlie was the first time that happened, and then he did it twice after. But y'all know what I'm talking about.
Of the immediacy of these things, we've seen it at Brown University. Exactly the same thing. They thought they had the killer. They thought they had the killer. It turned out to be the wrong person. Right? It doesn't mean there's any great conspiracy by the feds to cover anything up. And again, even if what you're saying is true, I don't know.
Did she post it yet, True Crime? I'm sure she did.
What you're saying is true. What is it they're covering up? You've so far intimated or inferred something weird involving Egyptian planes. So, what's that about? You've inferred perhaps Israeli involvement in some way. You've certainly inferred a lot of Turning Point USA involvement. That's a lot of people getting involved here in the murder of Charlie Kirk potentially. But what I'm really curious about is, given you've been all over all this and you've been airing all these theories, well, which one is it? It can't be all of these things. Is it somebody?
Well, of course,
is it someone at Turning Point USA? I mean, who do you actually believe was behind this?
Of course, it can be all of those things. And what's really ironic here is that there's a clip of Charlie in the last months leading up to his death where he speaks about the JFK assassination. And he says that multiple countries were involved, multiple people were involved, the LBJ was involved, the feds were involved.
Him saying that, what does that mean? Him, because he said it or thinks it. He also said George Floyd died from fentanyl. So what is Charlie Kirk saying that have to mean anything?
And he's correct. That is what it means. When there is a conspiracy, there are multiple people that are involved. Of course, there's not one person on a grassy knoll who shot JFK.
Well, it might have
there
been
are
that.
people who had to
It might have
agree
been
to it.
that. We don't.
Would have
Well,
had to, the Dallas police were involved.
Candace.
I'm answering your question. I'm
No,
answering your
but my
question.
point
You're
is,
asking, why aren't you just going to point to one person? That to me, even that seems like a part of telling people not to believe their own gut. Obviously, for this to have been pulled off, there had to have
she
been
cut herself off, telling people not to believe their own gut. I just. How do you know how stupid and unevolved we would be if we believed our gut? That doesn't mean anything. It doesn't help anybody. It doesn't get you anywhere. Believing your gut is nothing to go off of when you're trying to seek out truth. When you're trying to figure out something that you don't know the answer to. Following your gut is never been a good indicator of fact finding. I don't know why she said that as if it's intelligent, but her audience feeds off that shit. Follow your gut. Get the fuck out of here.
People involved. There had to have been people at Turning Point that were complicit in having this happen. Now, who knows what their motivations are? Doesn't mean maybe this person's like, hey, I'm going to help you.
Hang on. Okay, let me stop you. Hang on. When you say obviously somebody at Turning Point, you are accusing right now people that worked with Charlie.
Wait, she said
What their
obviously?
motivation. There had to have been multiple people involved. There had to have been people at Turning Point that were complicit in having this happen. Now, who knows what their motivations are? Doesn't mean
Who had to be.
maybe this person's like, hey, I'm going to help you.
Hang on. Okay, let me stop you. Hang on. When you say
You know what also is stupid about the Turning Point conspiracy? With Charlie dead, what does Turning Point become? Because right now they're off the rails. For y'all that don't know, Unfuck America is out there right now in Phoenix at AmFest, and the people that are going to speak at this Turning Point event have been shitting on each other on stage. Like, you got some Republicans backstage finna fight they got Nick Fuentes people out there finna fight conservatives. You got Ben Shapiro up there shitting on Tucker Carlson. Tucker Carlson come on stage shitting on Ben Shapiro. Ben Shapiro shitting on Candace Owens. He calling out all the anti-Semitism on the right. Like, it's a shit show over there. What would be the goal of the organization that Charlie Kirk is holding together to kill him? What's next? What happens after that? Because all y'all gonna probably not have a job in 2 years because the way Trump is doing shit and everybody leaving, not believing in Republicans anymore, and just the simple fact that Turning Point is turning into a shit show. Erica just wants a big ass mega church out of that motherfucker. Probably she don't even care about politics. All she keep talking about is God. What are y'all gonna do? What are y'all gonna do now? Killing Charlie Kirk there's no end goal in that. And I wish Piers asked that question. Even if he don't, I know we don't buy into this, but he should have asked, what's the end goal?
obviously somebody at Turning Point. You are accusing right now people that worked with Charlie Kirk at the company he built, which is now run by his widow.
Blue Waffle
You are
is
directly
crazy.
accusing people in that company of being complicit in his murder, right?
She's not saying Tyler's innocent. She's saying that he's just a pawn in this big scheme.
I want to just be very clear connecting that dot.
If he's involved.
That
So
when there is a
according to her.
conspiracy, of course, there are going to be multiple people involved. So applying that same logic to JFK, right? Knowing, as I do, and as Charlie did believe that LBJ was involved, which then implicates the feds as having been involved, which then implicates the Dallas police.
It's just so crazy how Candace does not. Okay, Candace is big as far as like personalities on the internet. But she's not praised as this amazing journalist. And for her to always pretend like she's cracked the code to all these unanswered questions that she raised that nobody really asked, she's not that girl. She's not that. She's not like, like CoffeeZilla has more of a reputation than her. That's my point. Like, usually when you hear CoffeeZilla, you be like, hey, that man done cracked like, if he say it, it's probably a lot of merit to it. You know, people be like, oh, if CoffeeZilla said it, maybe we should listen. I'm not saying he's on point 100% of the time. That's kind of hard to do. I'm not saying it's possible, but it's hard. But CoffeeZilla has a reputation for being like, if he said it might be some truth. Candace is like, oh, shit. Candace saying I probably should believe the opposite. Now, to her base, they think Candace be on some shit. I just asked somebody the other day. I asked him, I said, what has Candace ever proven from all of her journalism and investigations she's put out? What has Candace ever cracked like been the person to blow the lid on. Like what's one thing she's ever done that people didn't know and she's the one that found it? No, it's no answer. It's no answer. Like Candace Owens has never cracked the code on something that people did not know ever in her career.
As being involved. I believe Israel was obviously involved, that they were the ones that
Israel was obviously involved. Why is it obvious?
him dead for saying that what is now AIPAC should have to register under FARA. So there's motive. There are people that have to be involved.
That's the reason to kill him. Kill Charlie Kirk because AIPAC.
Ground that day. There are people that have to be willing to allow the perpetrators to get away. There has to be media that's complicit, and that's what literally Operation Mockingbird was. It was established.
But you know the problem?
Yeah,
You
true
know the
crime.
problem?
I heard about
Candace,
that.
here's the problem.
Well,
You-
hang on.
you-
It was established.
but,
So
no, but here's the
everyone
problem with
then
everything you're
becomes
saying.
complicit in this massive
You
cover-up.
keep
So-
saying, and
and
this is where people think you're prone to endless conspiracy theories for whatever reason.
Okay.
Is you keep using the phrase they have to have been involved. So by that yardstick, what you're saying is with JFK's assassination, and we recently had a lot of the files released, which did not conclusively prove any of these things. Right now, again, I don't know what happened to JFK, but the one possibility you've not ruled in is it was just as simple as Lee Harvey Oswald. It might have been. We don't
Might have
know.
been.
Right. So when you say
I can't even entertain
the
that. It's
media
such a
has
Look, I can't even entertain that. Think about it. It's somebody that's truly investigating something. If you want the God's honest truth, if you only care about the truth and trying to figure it out, no matter how big or small it is, her throwing out the possibility that maybe it was just Lee Harvey Oswald, that maybe it was just Tyler Robinson, that maybe Derek Chauvin put his knee on his neck and killed him. She's like, no, I can't. No, that's just ridiculous. I can't even. You don't care about the truth. You just want what you believe validated at that point. You can't be honest about trying to figure out the truth of something and throw out possibilities. If it's an actual possibility. Now, if you want to say like space aliens came down and killed him, and then you could be like, no, I'm not entertaining that. That's impossible because it's 99.99% impossibility. Yes, you could throw that out. But the possibility that Lee Harvey Oswald just killed the man because he didn't like him, the possibility that Tyler Robinson just did not like Charlie's rhetoric and he killed him, why is that out of the realm of an option? You taking it off the table because you don't want to believe it. That just proves that you don't actually care about the truth because you're throwing out a possibility. Occam's razor is usually a good metric to go off of, and if you don't want to abide by it, then you're not a real investigator.
to have been involved.
It's
Lyndon
been too
Johnson
many decades.
has to have been. But my problem is you're stating all these things as
We can't do
facts.
63. So it's such a nonsense that to say that it was Lee Harvey Oswald acting
You
by
don't
himself.
know that.
That's just such a nonsense. Like, yeah, no, I do know it was not Lee Harvey Oswald acting by himself, and then that required national security to lock down the files, and that required the feds to impart, the CIA to impart Operation Mockingbird to convince the public that it was, you can't go against, there's a grieving widow, don't look further into
Yes,
it,
but-
don't believe your own eyes.
but let me just say, this is your, but Candace,
it was
this
a
is
grand
Candace,
conspiracy that killed JFK.
Candace, this
and
is-
I am going to
Candace,
say that
this is-
confidently.
Like, look at, she's spazzing out over the fact that he just said, like, oh, this is an option. And she's just talking and like, no, I can't, I just don't know JFK didn't kill her. Like, girl, calm down. All he said was, is it possible that Lee Harvey Oswald just killed him? And you look at you.
I just think we have to grow up. We have to grow
We
up.
have to grow up. Like, yo, this is insanity. Like, this is crazy. It's just like she thinks she's looking stern and like strong in this moment. But, bro, why are you throwing out a possibility? Why? Right? She needs to grow up because what honest acting person is throwing out a possibility that the man just killed him? Like,
Keep pretending Lee Harvey Oswald killed JFK.
Fine.
We can't keep doing that.
we can't. You ain't proved it. You haven't proved otherwise. Oh my God.
Your opinion to the facts code on your ears. The whole reason it's an opinion.
No, that's
It's not,
a fact.
No, it's not a fact. It's
It's a fact. Candace, you don't have proof. What do you mean it's a fact? You don't have proof.
The whole reason
fact.
there are still conspiracy theories about JFK's assassination is none of this.
Because there's
is
no
a fact.
facts, right? You don't have the
presenting it
Feds
as
cover
your
it up.
theory.
Because the feds.
Even if the feds covered it as you claim, you can say that. You can say it was covered by the feds. But if that's the case, you can't create a reality off of not having any information. You know what I'm saying? You said let her do the work. She making the MAGA right divided. Yeah, it's a shit show.
Are never going to admit to their own crimes. That is the reason we're still
That may
discussing
be the
it.
case.
Yes, TJ, that's a good way to put it. She's 2 questions away from her entire claim falling apart. Like I said, okay, once you crack down everything she said, if I took it for granted, what's the end goal of TPUSA killing Charlie, and what's after that? Because if whatever her answer is, it's got to create a new conspiracy. She has to have a whole new rabbit hole to go down once we figure out the motive behind killing Charlie Kirk.
But you can't prove that.
Yeah, well, I can prove common sense that Lee Harvey Oswald did not stand on a grassy
admit it's your
knoll and
opinion.
assassinate a president. And
Okay.
LBJ, like Charlie says in that clip, which people should go pursue.
Yes, I know Charlie
all
said
of the
that.
weird things that happened that day that were unusual, and LBJ
What's good,
decided
PTJ?
not to ride that
All right,
day.
let's get
And then
back to-
suddenly he reversed course on all
Okay,
of JFK's
let's move
policies,
on
and
from
he was
JFK.
fighting AIPAC. Israel killed JFK.
All right.
Now, going back to your point about Turning Point USA,
Notice she can say that. Well, I guess it would be hard to get like a defamation with JFK, but she can't name a person because it's like she can name a whole state, but they can't sue her on behalf of the state. So
and the ridiculous idea that implicating, this is a $100 million organization.
Yeah.
Common sense. If this was not even a high profile political assassination and this was just a guy who worked at a company that was $100 million, right? Common sense inquiry is, was there a financial motive for this person to be dead? Okay. This is like Sherlock Holmes 101. And this is what I mean when I say that the public no longer trusts the media because you're acting us to be stupid. And we don't want to do that. We actually don't want to pretend that we're clinical idiots who can't assess things and go, oh, there could be a massive motive here to have Charlie dead, especially when it seems very strange that Bibi Netanyahu, when nobody even had a clue of what happened, this guy's doing the rounds on Fox News and saying, I didn't kill Charlie Kirk. That's kind of weird. Did you feel compelled to jump on to Piers Morgan's show and say, just so everybody knows, I didn't kill Charlie Kirk? Why would he say
Right,
that?
so
Why was he so
but
involved that somebody who's
Candace,
fighting
I
a
wanna get-
97,000 front war?
Candace, I want to get to the reality of what you're actually saying. So when you say that somebody at Turning Point USA, Charlie's company, was complicit in his murder, who was?
I believe that there were multiple people.
see, like this simple question, she can't like it's just imagine you could just create whatever reality you want, and then when somebody presses you on it, you could be like, I'm not sure, but I think that this is it. It's like you have nothing concrete. You just ask all these questions that kind of could have an answer, but you just say it's not viable. That's not an option for you. And okay, so who was the person that wanted Charlie Kirk killed? I think it was a bunch of people. Oh, well, okay, so what did those bunch of people want? I don't know. There was money to be made. Well, what did they want the money for? How would TPUSA make money if Charlie Kirk's dead? Well, the money goes for Israel. Like, it's, bro, what the fuck is wrong with you?
At Turning Point, who are, as I have said many times, my exact words are, they are engaged in a cover-up of what happened to Charlie on that day.
No, but who was involved?
See, she's trying to dodge him saying who was involved. She's like, I don't know who the single person that pulled the trigger or called the shots, but Turning Point covered up. If they covered up, then they're complicit, meaning they took part and knew what was going to happen. She's trying to make a delineation between people that covered it up and the people that made it happen. If you covered it up and you were part of covering up, you played a part into it happening. You're just as liable as the people that put the plan into action if you cover it up.
In his murder.
I didn't say they murdered Charlie.
You said
My
that
show,
people
I've
at
been very
Turning Point
clear.
were
See, like what? I didn't say they murdered Charlie. If TPUSA took part in covering it up, why wouldn't they play a part in it happening? Why would you take part unless you're getting y'all know the word fucking holding you hostage? I can't think of the word right now, but y'all know what I'm saying. Extorted. Unless they're getting extorted, why else are they covering up? Why would they cover up a murder unless they were getting extorted? This is stupid.
complicit in his murder.
No, my exact sentence that I said was that there were people at Turning Point who are engaged in a cover-up.
No, you didn't.
I believe
Sorry, you
that
didn't.
thoroughly.
Candace, you didn't say that. You said literally.
I did say that
they
on
were,
my entire
You said
show.
there were people at Turning Point complicit in
No.
his murder.
Okay.
That's what you said.
When you and I were discussing, that's why I said, let's go back.
I don't like her saying that that's not what she said, because Pierce should have let her have it, because it doesn't matter. If they covered it up, they played a part in his murder. He should just let her have it and make her have to explain from that point. Like, Pierce is good. He was drilling down on her really well. I think he wasn't the best person going against Nick Fuentes, but I think he did. For normal people, Nick looked crazy in that interview. If you like Nick, you were still going to like Nick. But to normal people, Nick looked crazy. for this, he should have just let her have it and just say, well, if they covered it up, wouldn't that mean they're part of the murder, planning it, or at least? Or if not, then were they extorted into having to cover it up? Because otherwise, what are you saying?
I was applying the logic of a conspiracy to JFK. I said, okay, JFK, you have people that are complicit. Of course,
Let's
if you
forget
apply that
JFK.
logic, if there
Let's
is a
forget
conspiracy,
JFK.
there's going to be multiple people that are going to be complicit by the time, in order for a large stage murder to
You
happen.
specifically,
Right. It should be no issue to find correspondence between Tyler Robinson and TPUSA. Period. But I mean, according to her, she may not think that Tyler pulled the trigger, but if the gun was writing the engravings on the shells and shit like that, it's just like, oh God.
you
Using an
didn't say
analogy of
complicit in a
JFK.
cover-up. You said complicit
okay,
in the
let-
murder.
Well, that's not true.
Because I said
Okay,
who at Turning Point
let
was
me
involved
clarify for you.
in his murder. And
Let
you
me
said,
clarify for you. Okay, you can keep saying what I said, or you can listen to what I'm saying.
Okay.
When I was using the analogy of JFK and we were connecting it, I was basically pushing back on you because you were suggesting that all of these people being involved would be crazy. So I was applying the
No, I
analogy
said
of
I don't
what happened
know.
to JFK. Well, you actually, if you go back and
I
listen,
said I
were,
don't know.
suggesting that a
I said
conspiracy.
you don't know
okay, well,
either. You're floating theories.
when we started
which are-
talking about
you're
the JFK
perfectly
thing,
entitled. Listen, let me
no,
make it clear.
Piers, I really think you're not holding on to your thoughts here
Candace, let
correctly.
me,
Okay,
well, let
you're
me
not
spell
holding
out
on
my
to your
thought
thoughts.
very clearly
When we
to you.
started talking
Let
about
me
JFK,
spell- hang
the
on,
implication
Candace,
that you were
hang on.
making
Let me
was that
explain
it
my
was
thought to
crazy
you.
to suggest that multiple
Let me
people could
explain
have been
my
involved
thought
in
to you.
different levels.
Candace.
I was then connecting the dots and saying that
Okay.
in order for the JFK assassination to happen, there had to have been tons of people that were complicit,
I understand.
right?
I heard what you
Maybe
said.
you're the person who takes the cameras down. Maybe you're the
I
person
understand
that
what you're
told him to
saying,
drive
Candace.
that day. Maybe you're LBJ. So they're not
Okay,
all
if you
complicit.
did all that, you played a part in his murder. Whether you don't have, it ain't about who pulled the trigger, Candace. So they played a part in it. So stop trying to run away from that while you're making the accusation.
in the murder,
Right.
but they're all at different varying stages involved in the cover-up,
Okay.
right? So that's what a grand conspiracy actually is.
Okay.
And I do believe, so you don't have to go back and we don't have to go through it. I'm telling you what I think about Turning Point. I am very known for being honest about what I believe. I'm not exactly a person that you got to pull teeth on.
Sure.
I believe that there are people at Turning Point who are engaged in covering up what happened on that day.
But what
And
any
have
of them
named-
So that means they help play a part into his murder.
Engaged in the planning of the murder of Charlie Kirk.
I wouldn't know how it was planned. Absolutely, I can't make that. I cannot confidently make that statement. I can say confidently that I know they're engaged in the cover-up because I've been investigating
Why? I can say confidently, I know they're engaged in the cover-up.
what happened on that day and what transpired thereafter. I've been clear. I've named those people on my show. I've said they are engaged in a cover-up, and I've listed the lies. So you don't have to try to make something out of what I didn't say.
Lying, like I said, TPUSA got reasons to lie, but preceding covering up Charlie Kirk's death.
I tell you what I think. It's already controversial. We don't need to get more controversial, okay? Do I think someone at Turning Point pulled the trigger? No. Obviously, I don't think someone at Turning
Do you
Point
think
pulled the
anybody
trigger. We
at
don't
Turning
even know who
Point
did
did
pull the
anybody
trigger.
at
So how
Turning
can I say
Point
that they're...
did anybody at Turning Point in your
Exactly, True. Like, why are you saying you know confidently? You don't know confidently. You have no proof of it. Lying about something is not proof that they covered up his death.
opinion know that Charlie Kirk was going to be murdered?
There is specifically 2 people at Turning Point USA, and I have communicated that information to Erica and Justin Strife, that I would not be surprised if they had foreknowledge of Charlie Kirk being assassinated.
And she won't say that out loud.
Got any evidence
I'm
for
not
that?
going to name... I am not going to name those people, okay? Because
Like, it's just jumping out the window like this. It's just, to me, it's kind of like, wouldn't you be more credible if you like had proof of the things that you wanted to come out and tell everybody? Like, I would think, just like, what would the Signal Gate? Remember Signal Gate, y'all? Before he made that article for The Atlantic, that man gathered all the information before he said something. He didn't run with the article the moment he received the text. He saw the text, he saw them having a whole conversation, saw all of the war plans, and was like, all right, now it's time to go because I have all the proof I need. This motherfucker ain't show nobody nothing. And then you talk to Erica behind closed doors. Like, you want to talk about conspiracies? They got behind them motherfucking doors. Candace said, look, shut the fuck up. I got $50K for you right now. I got $150K, probably $150. Candace like, look, bitch, if you shut the fuck up, I'll give you all of my months YouTube's earning. If you shut the fuck up and we get through this shit. Because TPUSA is failing. Charlie Kirk dead. They ain't going nowhere from this point on. So if you shut the fuck up, half of what I make this month on YouTube, we splitting it, bitch. Like, it's just, I believe that conspiracy before any of the shit that's coming out her mouth right now. Because you don't just talk and you don't have proof of anything you're saying. Like, I've seen more even attempted proof of Alex Jones disproving her Israel her Egypt plane conspiracy. Like, I didn't look into it because it was Alex Jones. I'm not gonna lie, I kind of just paid it, but I'm like, oh, but he showed something. It was like a video of this guy showing something. I didn't watch it in depth, but that's neither here nor there. You talk so much, and it's just all of these questions. It's just you're jacking off. Just ask the question. Just ask the question. Just ask the question. I ain't proving shit. I'm just asking the questions, and you prove nothing.
It's not right for me to name those people until I know for a fact that they did.
Did you give the names Did you give the names to Erica?
Yes, I absolutely did.
You gave the names to Erica of 2 employees, current employees at Turning Point, who you believe were involved in the preparation for the murder of Charlie Kirk. Is that what you're saying?
I told them that if I were in your shoes, these would be 2 employees that I would look further into. That's
and what evidence do you have that they...
Candace should be the head of the FBI. She should be head of the DEA. She should be head of Homeland Security. Because why do you think you always got the answers that the FBI can't figure out? Even despite Kash Patel, there's probably people that don't know what the fuck they doing. Why do you think that you, as Candace Owens, this face is funny as fuck right now that she's making. But why do you think that you have the answers and you don't prove anything? Yeah, she's hedging on a lot of this shit because she be going when she talk, but she's trying to calculate herself to not say anything too crazy. Because if you're so confident, Candace, why the fuck won't if you're confident as you say you are, and then you saying that you got these names that you want people to look at, why aren't you putting their names out like these people? Maybe, hey, FBI. Well, she didn't say FBI, she told Erica, but so she says, these people I think you should look into because of X, Y, and Z. You should have some type of proof of why they're a lead. Again, if you're going to jump out the window and claim this already, you need to put it all out there. Why are you giving out some information and withholding other information when you don't have proof of any of the shit?
You had any prior knowledge of the murder?
Because I don't have concrete evidence is the reason why I'm not naming them. So
you don't have concrete evidence of shit.
I've been
so you've got no evidence,
not saying,
but you're telling the widow that these 2 people may have been involved in the murder. But you see the problem.
Well, what the evidence for it is people that there was not concrete evidence. It's like you're trying to get me to say something that I never said and then asking me to defend it.
No, I'm asking what evidence you've got.
You're asking me privately, did I communicate to them that I think you should look further? That's called an investigation, Pierce, okay? So what you're doing is a strategy of like, if somebody dies, you're saying to police, you can't ask any questions about anybody unless you have concrete evidence. We're at the stage of investigation.
I'm not saying...
No, that is not the same fucking thing. You don't accuse people. If somebody died, you don't just accuse people without some type of lead, and you're not even giving that. You ain't gave the lead or the person. You could be like, what happens when somebody dies in a house? Like, is it somebody dies in a home or something? They go to the damn domestic partner first or husband and wife first, because most people kill people that they know. There's random murders is less frequent than murders between people that know each other. So when somebody dies and there's no clear indication of what happened, they look at the family or a spouse first. And once that checks out, then they start looking other places. But when somebody dies, you don't just start accusing people without a reason. And you ain't giving the people or the reasons for this.
You can. And let me give people in the public the permission to do this. Follow your instinct. If you feel something is off, keep asking questions.
Wait, she scoffed at widow?
Further. That's called an defendant.
No, I'm asking what evidence
let's
you've
actually
got.
go to, you're asking me privately, did I communicate to them that I think you should look further? That's called an investigation, Pierce, okay? So what you're doing is a strategy of like, if somebody dies, you're saying to police, you can't ask any questions about anybody unless you have concrete evidence. We're at the stage of investigation.
I'm not saying
yes,
that.
you can.
I'm
and
not
let me
saying
give
that.
people in the public the permission to do
Must
this.
have been further
Follow your
back.
instinct. If you feel something is off, keep
Follow your instincts. No, Candace, your instinct. I keep catching these weird ass faces she's making. This hilarious. You don't follow your instincts if you're not trained to follow instincts. I know some of y'all, I don't know. I'm guessing a lot of y'all probably watch like JCS, Explore With Us, This Is Monsters. These YouTubers that they document crime and they like show you like interviews of murderers and stuff like that. You know, they'll explain these people. Look, your name is True Crime Junkie. So these people are trained to find signs and trails and signals of behavior that people do when they engage in crime. Like they're trained to see these things. Candace, you're not. You're a journalist. And I'm not saying that doesn't mean anything, but journalism isn't the same as like forensic scientists or, criminal investigators. You don't have the same type of training. This instinct shit is bullshit. Now, I don't even know if Candace would probably benefit more if she watched some JCS or Explore with us. You know what I'm saying? Like, God, she would probably be better at her job if she watched a damn YouTuber.
Asking questions
No problem.
until you get concrete
No
evidence. And when you
problem
have concrete evidence,
Not
you
life
can name
train
those people.
me.
I don't have the concrete
But you
evidence.
have named
I
other
find there
people.
inconsistencies.
Okay, but you have named other
I'm trying to
people.
answer, Piers, you can't ask me questions. You can't ask me questions. Let me finish it. I have communicated to them that their inconsistencies make me uncomfortable. I have communicated to them that somebody else who is a third party gave me some information that I am not yet comfortable as I am vetting it, giving it to the public, because that's the responsible thing to do. These are private citizens. And that if I were in their shoes and had more access to information, I would go down that route, okay? Unless I am fully confident that they actually did have something to do.
Yes, I'm a big JCS fan. I stopped watching it. I stopped watching Explore with us as much because they was doing a lot of like leading to some big reveal, and it never was as big as they made it, and it was pissing me off. But I watch JCS and I watch This Is Monsters. This Is Monsters is really good. He just tells a story. His voice fits so perfect while he just tells stories. He doesn't he puts his opinion in sometimes, but he doesn't do the whole explanation of everything. He's just good at. I love This Is Monsters.
Here is the
The
smoke
YouTubers that do true crime stuff.
gun. I'm not going to name those people,
Okay.
but the people I have named thus far are people that I believe are engaged in a cover-up. Like I said, hold me accountable for
well,
what
let's
I have
talk about one of those
okay?
people. Let's talk about one of those people
Cool.
because the Turning Point producer, Blake Neff, wrote this in early December. Ever since Charlie's murder, Candace Owens has leveled a flood of allegations against people at Turning Point USA, people at Turning Point Action, and people who work for the show. She has made them against some of Charlie's closest friends and against some of his most dedicated employees. She suggested that Michael McCoy, Charlie's chief of staff, knew Charlie would be murdered, was happy that he died, and stayed silent because he was told he would be the next Charlie.
That's fair, Erkman. That's fair.
Move then to, you said in your podcast that new information was given to you in your meeting with Erica Kirk about Mikey McCoy that's now satisfied you.
Did Candace
on a video
graduate?
on the 27th of October,
on.
you devoted a whole episode to this guy and his supposedly
I never
strange
said I
behavior.
have information that satisfied me about Mikey McCoy.
Well, I'll ask you to
That's not a direct
clarify.
quote.
Okay, well, you can clarify that in a moment. But let's hear what you said about Mikey McCoy before the meeting.
So we decided to slow this clip down, and we're going to watch this clip slow down so you can see that it is exactly 834 milliseconds from the time that you hear the shot. That is how long it takes for Mikey McCoy to put the phone to his ear. Now, why is that precise timing so important? Because there's no dialing. Mikey didn't have time to dial, okay? You can't dial
That's high school.
put your phone to an ear in 0.834 seconds.
Now, what was the new information that you got in your meeting with Erica about Mikey McCoy?
So I'm sorry your gotcha is not going too well, but I
Okay, yeah, Candace never graduated. She got, of course, she got some experience. I won't take that away, but maybe if she actually fucking graduated, she would have some more journalistic integrity if she fucking graduated. I literally blame her ignorance and her fucking ego on not graduating her finishing her journalism degree. Now, she can afford it after she can afford it now. Shit, the reason she dropped out is because of student loans, which is fair. I get it, but you have the money to go to school. You could have fucking graduated, but college is a scam to her. And that arc when she went on Destiny Stream, oh god, she just exposed herself.
never then said, I am now satisfied that Mikey put the phone to his ear. What I presented to the public.
What you
I didn't
graduate
say
for?
that. Sorry, just to clarify.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, well, you
What'd
did
you
say
get your degree in?
You
have
inferred on
information
your
that's
podcast.
satisfied.
Well, let me give you the chance to clarify. It's a very familiar story when it comes to debt.
Yeah, that discrimination lawsuit that she fucking won.
You inferred on your podcast after the meeting with Erica that you'd received new information
Okay,
about Mikey McCoy, which had changed your mind. Would that
That's
be the
all.
best way to categorize it? Or
I graduated
change
No, I
in
never
someone's
did.
mind?
I just
sociology
presented it. Well, the only thing that I clarified on my podcast, if that's what they're getting wrong, is that some people thought that he was using a nickname that was his middle name, and actually his real name is Michael, like first name Michael, because I was like trying to find something, and I was like, oh, maybe he's actually using his middle name. So that's what I clarified on my podcast.
And you were given
Beyond
call
that,
logs, is
I
that right?
presented.
You were shown call logs? You were shown call logs?
They gave me a printout of Mikey's call logs, and I gave it to the public. That's it. I mean, they're saying this, and then the public obviously
So
comes
do
back
you
and says, well,
believe
how do we know
Mikey
that these are-
McCoy had any prior knowledge of Charlie's murder?
I can't say that he had prior knowledge of the murder unless I have something concrete. I can't say anything about prior knowledge. What I can say is what happened on that day. Mikey's behavior is weird on that day. I find it weird.
I find it weird. It's weird. Everything is weird.
I gave it to the public. That's it. I mean, they're saying this, and then the public obviously
So
comes
do
back
you
and says, well,
believe
how do we know
Mikey
that these are-
McCoy had any prior knowledge of Charlie's murder?
I can't say that he had prior knowledge of the murder unless I have something concrete. I can't say anything about prior knowledge.
I just love how she's hedging on this. I don't have anything concrete, but yet you want to talk so loudly about this. I just couldn't imagine being a YouTuber. Like if I had questions, like the David, the singer guy, the singer that allegedly killed that girl and put her in the trunk. I could never see myself as like on YouTube, like, he did it. Now it looks like he did it, but just to have no proof or nothing, it's just like, why is she? Anybody could come on here and be like, why was his ex-girlfriend's name was, I forgot whatever her name was. She was in the trunk of his car. It's like, yes, it looks bad. It looks terrible, but you don't have the dots to connect. You don't have the lines to connect the dots, rather. Like you can't, as strong as Candace comes out with her claims, you would think she had more proof. Celeste, thank you. God, I ain't remember that shit. I'm not following it harshly. I'm waiting for the outcome, honestly. He made a song with Celeste in it. His girlfriend's name was Celeste. She was in the trunk of his car. Why was she in the trunk? Like, yes, it looks terrible, but you need a smoking gun. You need a smoking gun.
Say is what happened on that day. Mikey's behavior is weird on that.
And not only that, that's easier to point to him than this, because Candace is involved in TPUSA, Israel, Egypt, and everybody that Charlie Kirk knew, apparently. So it's just way harder to believe.
Day.
And you need way more proof.
Weird, like I said on the podcast yesterday, that what has been communicated to the public is like he called Erica instantly. First thing he did was call Erica instantly. And that's actually the call logs show that he didn't call Erica instantly.
But what are you suggesting about this guy?
And then he had 3 ways.
When you've got a massive platform,
and then showing his call log showed that Blake Neff actually didn't tell the truth about what happened on that day.
But here's the problem, Candace. You have a massive platform, as you know. Millions and millions of people hang on your every word. When you devote a large part of an entire episode to the strange behavior of Charlie Kirk's chief of staff, you are putting a target on the guy's back.
Yeah.
You're inferring it has something to do with this.
Yeah.
Or something to do with some cover-up, or whatever it is you're inferring. You know what you're doing when you do that. When you saw Erica Kirk, did you say to her that you believe there's something suspicious about Michael McCoy? Was she able to explain to you why there isn't? Or does she share your view that he is somehow complicit in this in some way?
Well, we actually dedicated more time speaking about his father, who I think it's strange to me that man calls himself a pastor. I communicated fully that everything about that man makes my skin crawl. I think he's a bad person. I think he's involved with bad people. And
we can say the same about you.
This is obviously Mikey's a son. And, I asked a bit about Rob McCoy and Mikey McCoy's relationship. I would just like to be clear. I am not going to be emotionally conditioned to believe that asking questions when we aren't getting any answers is the crime itself. The crime was when Charlie got shot in the neck. So,
but you've already said, though, you told Eric.
Oh, I forgot about France. Yes. Israel, Egypt, France, and the U.S. government.
Wait, let me
and
finish.
TPUSA.
You can't ask me questions. Not let me finish.
You're contradicting what you've just said to me. You said to me earlier,
what did I contradict?
You said you gave 2 names of people in the Turning Point organization that you believe are complicit in some way. You gave those names, but you wouldn't name them because it wouldn't be right to do that. But you did name this guy, Mikey McCoy, who was the chief of staff.
Because his actions are strange. You're 2 different things.
Wait. Because his actions are strange. I'm not saying the other 2 people's actions are strange, but wouldn't there be something behind you actually giving their names to Erica? But you're giving 2 names to Erica of people in TPUSA, but you won't give us the name to Mike. You giving us the name to Michael McCoy or whatever, because his behavior is strange. What is the symmetry breaker between these 2? Like you have no proof of either, I guess. You still have no proof of anything, but you're throwing out one name and leaving out 2. Why? She would.
Really, Pierce, I think you're having trouble holding on to 2 buckets of thought here, okay?
No.
You said, in regards to someone that was complicit in murder, that is a very serious allegation. I gave them names of people that would not surprise me if they did have foreknowledge of Charlie Kirk's murder.
And you ain't tell us. Okay. Let's see what's the symmetry breaker for telling us about McCoy.
You are now shifting gears and you're asking me about Mikey McCoy and why I am raising red flags about his behavior on that day. Because I believe his behavior on that day was weird.
So she just tried to use words differently to say the same thing. His behavior was weird. The other 2 guys I think they had foreknowledge of Charlie. I think they have foreknowledge of Charlie. His behavior was weird. His behavior being weird would put him in the realm of having something to do with Charlie, right? Right? What else are you bringing up his behavior being weird for if it's not to have something to do with Charlie? Why is it okay to say his name and not these other two people, Candace? It's like that's what she do. It's like I can't give up my sources, or if I tell these names and all that type of shit. All that shit is just ploys of a cult leader. Now, whether Candace knows it or not, she's a cult leader. She has all of the fucking all the factors, all of the characteristics of a cult leader.
I think it's painfully obvious.
So
that
do you believe he's
I don't know people that
complicit?
don't duck when a shot comes down.
Complicit?
So I'm sorry that I have eyes.
Maybe he's a weird
and
dude.
I am agreeing with the public that Mikey McCoy's behavior was weird on that day. Okay, these are two different things.
And you're giving his name up, even though you got less. Actually, it would be the inverse. If you think that people have foreknowledge of Charlie's death, you should make them names public so people can look into them. You want to be an investigative journalist, right? Why don't you put the info out there? You're not saying go harass these people. Look into their background. Look into their behavior. Look into the fucking tax filings. I don't know. Look into all that shit. Put out them names. You think they had something to do with Charlie, right? You believe they had foreknowledge. That's a serious accusation. Meanwhile, we ain't telling you their names, but we're going to tell you a guy whose behavior was weird. What the fuck are you? What? That don't even make sense in your own world.
Now, if I'm going to make the an assertion that somebody had something to do with planning this murder, I better be damn sure. And I need, if I say that on my podcast, right?
Hey, shout out to the 45 in here. I hope I see at least 35 likes. 35
That's all
minimum.
I'm saying.
Come on.
I had never
like
made that
the,
claim
like the stream.
that Mikey McCoy planned Charlie Kirk's assassination.
No, I think like a lot of the claims you're making, it's difficult to work out what you're actually claiming. You're throwing a lot of mud in the air, including people's names, which immediately then has millions of people chasing after these guys on social media and thinking,
I'm sorry they get caught lying. Like, I'm sorry, what is this? This is like the public is actually being abused, okay? Let's stop pretending that the victim...
That's one of the things the cult leader does. They make it seem like everybody else is against them. Meanwhile, I'm here for you. That's something that they do. Again, I don't even know if Candace is conscious of this or not. I'm not going to just say she is. She may not be. But you're treating the public like they're stupid. Like all that shit. I'm the truth holder. Everybody else is lying to you. Listen to me, because I know what I'm talking about, and I have your best interests at heart. Everybody else don't give a fuck about you.
or do you just want them to think they are?
No, the public is being abused because you're basically saying, stop noticing that people like Turning Point USA are lying.
No, I'm not.
What do you just saying again? An organization has a lot of reasons to lie about things. If you're a shit organization, getting over them, hell, if they cheating people out of money, Candace, out it. I don't give a fuck. They probably are. If they have unethical practices within the organization, go ahead and out them. I don't give a fuck. Does that mean they had something to do with killing Charlie? Absolutely not. I've heard horror stories about TPUSA. I don't give a fuck about none of that, but none of that means they had something to do with killing Charlie Kirk. So why are you saying they lied, therefore something's up with Charlie Kirk's death? Those two things one thing don't lead to the next.
No,
Candace and the public know. Yes, you are.
No.
How dare Candace?
But when there's an
what are you doing?
emphatic repudiation
Mikey,
of what you're
if
saying,
Mikey lies and Rob McCoy lies and Blake Neff lies and yes, all.
But you notice she's not saying what they lie about. She's just saying they lied. Like she's not even Candace, this is a big platform. Now it's bigger than yours. I don't know, but maybe you can't. To be honest, hey, we good? My OBS just said it disconnected. We good? We good, y'all? We good? The stream still going? Put a 1 in the chat if the stream is going uninterrupted. I guess it fucked up for a second. Okay. OBS said it had disconnected. Okay. All right.
All of these people have lied on record after the assassination. And the public goes, hey, that's kind of a weird lie. You're like, how dare you put a target on their back by noticing that they're lying? I mean, what weird psychological operation? How dare you put a target on their back by noticing that they're lying? I mean, what weird psychological operation is this?
Yeah, it's a reason she won't say what the lies are.
Do you believe?
Lie.
Okay, but do you believe Erica Kirk has been lying about it?
No, I have been explicit on my show when people were saying, why aren't you attacking Erica Kirk? I said, because Erica Kirk has not lied. If to the extent that she lies, I will call it out. And that is why I did call out when she lied, okay? When she said Charlie Kirk never received any text messages the night before saying that he was worried about that he was going to get murdered tomorrow. I instantly said, well, here we have it. That's a lie. He definitively did send out text messages to both Dan Flood and Andrew Colbert. And when we met in person, she clarified that, okay, yes, that's real. And we didn't know until you said it because he was using a different app and she was checking his iMessages. So to me, if you lie, you're going to make an enemy of me. Just don't lie. How about that basic requirement to say to people, don't lie about what happened on that day. Don't lie about what you did on that day, because that's the first clue to investigators that that person should be looked at further.
All
Again,
right.
this is common sense.
Okay, let's move to something else.
And that's true. While these lies are public, why you think nobody has arrested these people? Yeah, it does look bad when you lie about your whereabouts, but people lie for different reasons. Like I said, it's very much so plausible that TPUSA has lied about things. That doesn't incriminate them for his death. Exactly, true crime.
Candace has made other stranger allegations involving French paratroopers in maroon shirts, Egyptian Air Force
Here we go. Let's get to it.
Looked at further.
All
Again,
right.
this is common sense.
Okay, let's move to something else Blake Neff said. He said Candace has made other stranger allegations involving French paratroopers in maroon shirts, Egyptian Air Force planes flying out of Provo, Utah, and potential underground assassins traveling through unseen tunnels. At one point in early November, she started wildly throwing suspicion on members of Utah Valley's soccer team for wearing hoodies. I could go on. There's always something new coming up. None of it ever pans out because from the start, there's been nothing there. What do you say to that?
He's lying.
And that left out Turning Point. So that would have been 5 different organizations.
And that's the reason why Blake Neff is a suspicious character. I mean, him saying that I pointed to a soccer UVU person is complete fiction. I never had discussed that person on my show. Somebody was asking for a clearer photo of the person on X, and I shared it. No suspicion. Never said this person had anything to do with anything. I never covered him as a suspect on my show of anything at all. Didn't ask for more information on this person. That kid instantly responded and said, oh, those are our school colors, and that was it. And Turning Point tried to turn it into a thing. Why are you doing that?
She said, I never discussed this person. Meanwhile, she just broke down how she did, maybe not discuss them as a suspect, but somebody asked for clearer photos and stuff. And there was a specific person that felt pointed out and they contacted you. Therefore, they were highlighted at some point of your stream, right? But she just said, I never discussed this person. That wasn't even true. Now, it feels a little nitpicky to call that out, but with somebody like her, you have to, because she could have just started off by saying, she said he's lying, he's completely lying, blah, 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 blah. She could have oh, shit.
More money, more money, more money.
Shout out to motherfucking Dow. I need to see at least 50 W's in the chat for Dow. Just wanted to wish you a Merry Christmas, bro. Appreciate the content, even though we're watching you get high blood pressure in real time. And I need, he like, I got you, man. He said, I got you, because I know your shit skyrocketed, man. Hey, shout out to fucking Dow, man. D Blitz 2K6. Thank you, brother. I need that for the blood pressure meds I'm going to need after this. For sure. Shout out to Dow, man, for the $50 fucking super chat. Make sure y'all like that motherfucking message. And yeah, god damn. Thank you, bro. Thank you, brother. I think that's the biggest super chat I've ever gotten. Thank you, sir. I can't tell you how much I appreciate it. Appreciate your support, man. Thank you, Dow.
Responded and said, oh, those are our school colors, and that was it. And Turning Point tried to turn it into a thing. Why are you doing that? Regarding the Egyptian planes, that's a fact. Why are you saying she said that there was a military Egyptian plane on the ground that day?
But wait, I forgot. Yes. Again, she could have just started off by saying he's referring to the soccer player that was in this picture and blah, blah, blah. She started off by saying he's lying. That's not true. He made it up. Like, well, it was some merit to what he said. Don't act like it just came from out the goddamn sky.
As a suspect on my show of anything at all, didn't ask for more information on this person. That kid instantly responded and said, oh, those are our school colors, and that was it. Yeah. And Turning Point tried to turn it into a thing. Why are you doing that? Regarding the Egyptian planes, that's a fact. Why are you saying she said that there was a military Egyptian plane on the ground that day? There was. In fact, there were 2. So why are you pretending that that's like a weird thing to notice? And that is why people have been flagged about these planes. To his other,
let me ask you about the planes.
I'm never allowed to answer a single question that you say in entirety before.
Oh, that's not fair. You was talking for a little second. Like, don't do that. And you, when you're running a show, you can't just let somebody talk ad infinitum. Like, ad infinitum, whatever, how the fuck you say that shit. You can't just let somebody keep rambling. That's just, you can't do that.
On to the next
Well, you
question.
can't just keep talking ad infinitum. I'm allowed to ask another
No, it's called
question.
answering.
Yo, I swear to God, I forgot he said that. I did not know he said that. I did not remember he said that.
You just read an entire statement
It's
of
actually
multiple points of
it's called
Blake's. I got to
filibustering.
the second point, and you're like, let me ask you a question.
No, I want to ask you. No,
Because you already asked me a question.
I
I'm trying
want
to answer
ask
the question that you asked.
No, I want
Yeah, but I get it. You want to keep talking, but you can't let somebody talk forever.
to ask you a follow-up specifically about the Egyptian planes, given you've now addressed it, which is, where is the evidence that any of these Egyptian planes were tracking Erica Kirk?
I wish you did say that,
I'm
Jade.
going to be publishing the full document because there's not even just 2 planes. There's actually 4 planes that have been flying in, and I should be more thorough because I realize that the
And
spreadsheet
tracking
I posted,
Erica Kirk.
not that, can I just please, without you cutting me off,
Sure.
answer one thing? Okay, thank you. These Egyptian planes, more broadly speaking, now that we have gone deeper onto the planes, recognizing that the reaction to them is not normal, what we can say is that these Egyptian planes are tied to Israel. They've been flying in and out of Israel with their transponder off for years. But regarding the Turning Point USA picture, more broadly speaking, Turning Point USA faith, okay? Obviously, Erica has been involved in a lot of the church stuff. It's not specifically tracking just Erica. It's Turning Point faith events. Broadly speaking, I gave that information as well. I told Justin Strife and Erica, I'm happy to give you this like color-coded spreadsheet. There's no question there's a correlation here between Turning Point USA faith in particular, which, by the way, from the beginning of this, I've said something is wrong with this faith contingent, especially because Rob McCoy for a while was heading up that department, and he makes my skin crawl. And so, yeah, I have the evidence for that, and we're going to actually publish it on our website.
All
So
right,
there
but
can
I
be
can't-
no
okay.
question, which I should have done
All
from
right,
the very beginning.
but let me ask you.
Showing that these planes were tracking Charlie at various times. There where Erica is, various times there where Rob McCoy is, but the consistent thread here is faith events like Kingdom to the
Why-
Capitol tour.
Assuming you're right, and I don't know,
Mm-hmm.
but I know Erica Kirk, when asked about this, said on CBS, if you want to go through my flight log, go right ahead. It's very boring.
Mm-hmm.
You, Candace, say I was here on this date. I have a photo on my phone to prove I was actually in hospital having contractions. So that's one thing she's directly repudiated. But let's assume for a moment you're right, and that all these Egyptian planes were flying around tracking Charlie Kirk and Turning Point, Faith, and Erica Kirk. Why? What are they? What is your
Why?
theory?
I don't
Why?
know. I don't know.
But
I don't
what's
know.
your
That's
theory?
what I
You must have an idea.
Like that's exactly what the problem. I don't know. Like bruh. Candace, don't you think that's like the most I mean, like with this logic, could I not just say like, at every event that Charlie Kirk, every time Charlie Kirk went to a college campus, it was a Wednesday. And, you know, Wednesdays are the busiest days on a college campus. So why would he be there when the most people are there? Wouldn't that be a danger to his life? I mean, it's just like you're just taking a thing that occurred. Like Candace is like, you know what I think I'm gonna call her is Correlation Candace. I think that's what I'm gonna call her. Correlation Candace. Y'all heard it here first. If y'all heard it somewhere else, fuck them. You heard it here first. Correlation Candace, because there's never a causation with her. Everything is a correlation. There were planes in the same place that Erica Kirk was at. Therefore, they killed Charlie. Like, god damn. Even if they from Israel, I would assume that Israel got planes at a bunch of places across the country at the same time. Did you look into where every Israeli plane was at the same time in America? Like, I like this is just. That's what. Yes, y'all. Correlation Candace. That's exactly what I'm gonna start calling her. Or Correlation Owens, one of the two. Y'all pick. Which one is it? They both.
Theory is that we should investigate everything strange that happened on that day so we can figure out what happened.
But are you
That's literally
suggesting
just called
are you
investigation.
suggesting
Why is
That's
everybody
more
so-
flatter. No, true crime. I don't know if you know, but that word YouTube flags it. That's why I don't use it often. I know Jew and Watts was telling me like you get demonetized if you use that word like I guess in a title or if you say it maybe in the video at all or excessively in the video. But to be fair, excuse me. I don't use that word often in general. Like me personally, black people that like throw black people under the bus, I like to refute it by what their behavior and how incorrect they are versus calling them that name personally. I just don't. I want people to. I don't want people to be like, you're just ad hominem or any of that dumb stuff. I try to make people engage with what I'm saying versus the names I call them. That's my personal approach to how I critique people. I don't want to give them a straw man to attack. I want people to attack what I'm saying, not the names. So I don't really say that. Even when I talk about these people, if y'all notice, when I talk about like Tatum, Stevie, Cartier family, I don't refer to their race as a reason as to why they're wrong. I refer to their race as a means to show how ridiculous they're being, but not as the sole argument. I want people to attack what I'm saying about them so they can't fall back on the insults, rather. Candlelation, that's too difficult to say.
Why are we pretending that we don't know why we ask questions? Like, why? Like, you're a journalist. You know.
Say Flurf and said, wait, how is Flurf a stand-in for?
You're like, what's going on? What's going on? Why do you want to know why these planes were tracking?
I don't know if he worked around it, or maybe he don't care if he get demonetized sometimes for Lucas, but Watts and Drew said they got demonetized when they used that word.
Charlie, well, my theory is that we are being sold absolute
Vote
fed
true
slop.
crime.
The media is doing their Operation Mockingbird Part 2 scenario by telling us, well, unless you absolutely have a conclusion, you can't even ask the question. Yes, we very well damn can. Keep asking consistent questions until we get a clarified explanation for what happened on that day. And right now, we have nothing, okay? And that is the reason why people are watching my show, because I'm the only one not treating them like they're absolute idiots who don't have toys, who believe in magic bullet.
Again, with the my audience is smart because they listen to me because I'm the arbiter of truth, and everybody else is treating them like they're dumb because they don't care about them. That's that cult shit.
And who understand that Egyptian planes should not have been tracking Charlie even 3 times this year would be an anomaly, okay? They've been tracking him. We don't know where it's going to end.
That's because it reminds you of Furby Defier.
So we are going to keep asking questions until we get clear answers.
Candace, it may be that the person in the media spewing bullshit to the public is you.
No, nice try. It's not. It's you by saying, why are you asking questions? Don't you worry about Mikey's feelings? Everyone knows what this is. And like I said, because we have the example, the concrete example of after JFK's assassination, the media members quite literally being put on the payroll of the CIA. We have a historical example that we can look at and go, we're not doing that again. Doesn't matter how many times you keep telling the public that I'm spewing bullshit. It is only because there has not been anything that has come out of this investigation that makes any sense that the public is not listening to, I'm sorry to say this, Piers, people like you. And what I love about you and I...
You see what I'm saying? People like you. Like, her audience will eat this the fuck up. I'm really curious what the comment section says though, but her audience will eat this up.
Down is at this exact same time last year, you were doing the same weird questioning and making all these things when I said that they were committing a Holocaust against the Gazans, and then you changed your mind.
Actually, this
time, I'll see you next year when you change your mind again, and we have more information about what happened, and you realize that the difference between me and you is that I have the courage to take the risks and ask the questions first, okay, before it's popular. You wait until it becomes popular, and then you change your mind.
You may remember that one of your courageous moves was to repeatedly tell the world that Brigitte Macron is a man. As you now know,
and she is.
As you now know, we had a $300,000 bet to
She ain't got no choice but to dig her heels in further. Look at the exasperation. Look, she blew. Mind you, that's why she went to that Israel one instead of the Gaza one instead of the Brigitte Macron thing, because she probably don't feel confident about that at this point in time.
Brigitte Macron is a man. As you now know,
and she is.
Look at her. She tightened her lips when he said that name. Look at her. Look at her demeanor when he brings up Brigitte. Look at it.
One of your courageous moves was to repeatedly tell the world that Brigitte Macron is a man. As you now know,
and she is.
As you now know, we had a $300,000 bet to charity about this because she's a woman.
Yes,
is my view.
She's not a woman.
Well, we're going to find.
She got to dig her heels in further.
Out is the point, because it's going to court, they're suing you, and when she proves, as she will, that she's a woman, because it's very easy to prove, and you lose that case, then
so easy that she refuses to do it for years.
Keep in mind, Candace is fucking lying. If you guys have not watched it, it's this creator named Jose. His profile picture on YouTube is a blue jay. He did a great deep dive on this Brigitte Macron Candace stuff, and they've provided the Macrons have provided a bunch of pictures of Brigitte growing up, and Candace just act like it didn't happen. She just says they didn't provide it. Or she just doesn't. She just outright denies that they are real. She says they're fake, or she doesn't get any. She's lying. They've given her pictures of her as a child, so she can shut the fuck up. She just acts like it didn't happen, or just says they're not real. So she's lying.
It will become more obvious to people that, look, I think you're a brilliant operator at what you do. That's, I like you personally. You know that, right? None of this is personal for me
I wouldn't do none of that shit.
about you at all.
Just get your point across. You ain't gotta fucking jack her off.
I just have watched him last year from Bridget Macron now into the Charlie Kirk story. I think you've developed a modus operandi, which, to put it politely, is you flying what we would call in the world of journalism kites, and just seeing what can cause the most merry hell, therefore get you the biggest audience, therefore make you the most amount of money. And people have, as you know, you've been widely attacked now by a lot of people who say that you're just a ghoul, a vulture. You're doing this deliberately. You're inventing things or just flying ludicrous conspiracy theories to make money. Now, again, Candace, I don't know that you are, but I do know.
Celebrity.
Can you not interrupt me? But your rule.
I do think it's pretty rich. It's pretty rich coming from you, is all I'm going to say. That's me putting it very nicely, given your background, your career, your celebrity involvement, the Princess Diana. Wrong messenger is what I'll say right off the top. Okay, wrong messenger. What you are mistaking, or I guess what
I just disagree because Pierce's career isn't. He has a big moment with the Princess Diana thing, but that doesn't define his career. I disagree. I'm a fan of Pierce because he's good at what he does, but I dislike him because he's not an honest actor. But he puts on entertainment. He gives me the entertainment that I said to say is a fucking a guilty pleasure of mine. But his career isn't defined by the Princess Diana shit. Candace, your career is defined by just lying on people. So it's just not the same.
mistaken, because you know what this is. You're talking about power versus the people, and you are always on the side of power first. You're on the side of the Israelis. It's so horrible.
Candace, hold on. I'm Piers Morgan.
I've actually been very critical of the Israelis, as you know, in the last year.
Everybody
I've actually been very critical of the
You know where your bread is buttered too.
Okay, it's very easy to present photos of 30 years of your life. Brigitte keeps teasing. Oh,
And she did it.
Brigitte,
we're
nobody
gonna
asked you for a
find
blood
out,
test. We asked you for some photos, and you.
And I mean, there's fucking child photos of her. It was like fucking 5 years old, and it looks like this woman is in her 70s or maybe 80 now. I don't know, 70s. There's pictures of her at like 5. It looks like the same person. Funny enough, you can easily see that this is the same person.
We're going to find out,
and everybody knows
Candace,
that
we're
Charlie
gonna find
Kirk
out.
was not shot by Tyler Robinson on a rooftop.
Wait, everybody knows.
Brigitte,
We're
nobody
gonna
asked
find
you for a
out,
blood
aren't we?
test. We asked you for some photos, and you refused
We're
to
gonna
do
find
it.
out,
And
Candace.
everybody knows
You
that
deny the photos.
We're going to find out.
was not shot by Tyler Robinson.
Everybody, she's saying Charlie Kirk was not shot by Tyler Robinson. So I guess Tyler Robinson is just the fucking the patsy.
A rooftop. I am sorry that in this day and age, there seems to be such a shortage of testosterone that a woman has to be the person that states the obvious.
God.
That's right. I invite you to join me, and I know that you will by the end of next year, because they're not going to get away with what they did to my friend.
Exactly, Chronic. Like, was it Chronic? Yeah, exactly. The burden of proof is on her for having these strong accusations.
And Charlie Kirk, and I am not going to change my mind, least of all when I am being called names by someone who has quite a year background and experience in doing things because it's lucrative and not always because it's sensitive.
Sure,
Listen,
you can call me a hypocrite as much as you want. I don't care. It's fine. I'm just simply saying what other people have been saying about you. I didn't say I felt that.
Thank you.
I said,
I'll let you know what people are saying about you too. I'll keep you posted on what people are saying
like
about
you. I read it all the time. But I would say that, like I said at the start of this interview, I don't.
Well, that's the difference. He's interviewing you. If you was interviewing him, yes, you could bring up what people say about him, but he's interviewing you.
know whether any of the things you're saying are true or not. I just do know you're saying a huge amount of stuff. It's making you very wealthy. You're getting millions and millions of people coming in, which by the way,
what is this idea that it's making me very wealthy?
Which
Can
is
you
fine.
actually explain that slowly?
Yes, I'm going to explain it to you slowly, because I had a huge run-in, for example.
This is just like a talking point.
No, I'm going to explain exactly what I mean. When Sandy Hook happened and Alex Jones began weaponizing the Sandy Hook tragedy and weaponizing the grief of the poor parents who'd lost their children, and I began to attack him in public. And then eventually there was a court case, and it turned out he'd been spewing deliberate lies, and that every time he spewed them, they found he made hundreds of thousands, if not millions of dollars in the immediate aftermath of spewing the repeated lies that it was all staged and the families were actors and so on, which he knew to be lies. And he made himself extremely rich and ended up with $1 billion defamation finding against him because he'd been deliberately weaponizing people's grief. And the charge...
Yeah, I'm asking you to explain the
I'm
explaining financial metrics. How was he making money?
I'm explaining to you the analogy, which is there are, as you know, right now, a lot lot of people, from Tim Pool to the New York Post to others,
Santa
who've come out very
Claus.
stridently in the last week, and say that's exactly what you've been doing with Erica Kirk.
Yeah, but you haven't answered the question. So this is just made up. As I said, this is just all fluff. You're suggesting that I'm making money. Did I sign a new advertiser? Are we reading more ads? Do we put this somewhere else? Do we
Well, the
sign
more
a book
views
deal
you get on YouTube, the
so
more money
did
you
I
make.
sell a T-shirt? Okay, but like, come on, Pierce. Money on YouTube? Are you kidding me? I was already in a top 10 podcast globally before Charlie Kirk was assassinated. And if you think that I would want my friend to be assassinated so I could go from being in the top 5 to being number 1, you're out of your mind.
No,
Okay,
I'm telling you,
it's so disrespectful. But like the point is that everyone who is saying that I'm making more money cannot say how I'm making more money because it's just not true. Okay, so you're like, oh, she got a bump in viewership talking about.
Fam, saying it's completely untrue is actually absurd. It's crazy. It's one thing, Candace, I get it. You got to downplay it because optically it looks bad to look like you're profiting off of Charlie Kirk's death, optically. But let's not sit here and act like, what was her words? Let's hear this.
Mind,
No,
okay?
I'm telling you,
I'm telling you. But like the point is that nobody.
She might be true crime, especially at this point in time. She is possible. Because mostly it's conservative podcasts that be number 1. Or the top 5.
Everyone who is saying that I'm making more money cannot say how I'm making more money because it's just not true. Okay, so you're like, oh, she got a bump in viewership talking about Charlie.
You talking about Birdman? No, that's next, bro.
Everyone in the world because it was a public assassination. And then it went up in the weeks following, and it went back to normal.
Candace, are your YouTube numbers up since you've been doing the Charlie Kirk investigation?
Simple question. Are your numbers up since you've been doing Charlie Kirk investigation?
What I'm saying to you is that this is the exact same argument you guys had about Brigitte. So it can't, and then the same exact
but I
same
think you were
argument
lying about Brigitte.
the Blake Lively thing. Okay, but like, what about the Blake Lively thing? So you can't keep saying that, oh, she's always in the top 10 because she's talking about something. Or this is my podcast and it's me. It's just me. People enjoy my podcast because I don't treat them like they're idiots. I don't treat them like they should accept that Brigitte.
Again, more of the, I do this, therefore I'm better than everybody else. But what we not going to do is pretend like Candace ain't making money. I'm just going to show y'all how much money. You know what's going to be even funnier about this? This is money she's made by people that's actually mad at her. So imagine how much she's making people that still support her no matter what. Look at these super chats. She's got a bunch. So people may call this dumb, but Candace looking to the right too much. Mikey phone call doesn't add up with her timeline. And what the fuck are you putting the plain debunking on website and not YouTube? She wants people. That person is saying like, okay, you got proof. You want everybody to know, but you're putting it on a website that you have to pay to be a part of. You're not just putting it on you. You're not putting your hard proof on YouTube. You know why? Because the people that pay. Now, to be clear, everybody's on YouTube to make money for the most part. Most people are trying to make content for making money, right? Right. So we're not saying that Candace making content makes her a bad person if she's making money. The point is you dig your heels into something when it's profitable. We did it with Stevie. I did it with Jamar. The difference is I'm not creating anything to give my audience something. I'm not like creating a narrative to give my audience content. I'm not like creating stuff. So keep that in mind. These are people, most of these people are giving her money and they're mad at her. They're mad at her. So can you imagine how much she's making money off people mad at her and people that support her? This person called her out and you want people to pay to get the proof that you have to prove this plain stuff. That's ridiculous. Fuentes, if you see this, please expose who this actor is and who funds her. You have the green light. Who the fuck are you? Wow, this breaks my heart. This is just word. This was after she met with Erica for context. So her audience is mad at her because she went with Erica and met and it wasn't recorded. This is just a word salad. She is rambling, sad to say, but you are not passing the vibe check. The market is always right, and the chat is overwhelmingly saying you are not the same. You let us down. Our only hope purchased, lost us. $500. Somebody donated $500 to this woman. We provide biohazard cleanup services in Texas if you need us ever. I don't know if that's to protect her or they want to kill somebody for her, but whatever the fuck that means. Candace, if you back down, I am never supporting you again. I won't support someone I don't trust. I will block your content on every platform. Have the courage to tell the truth. God's got you. As if they can't make up the call logs. Candace, seriously, after all they've lied about already, just believe them. This is pathetic. You kissed Erica Kirk's gaudy ring, no solid answers. Fake and gay, you will not outsmart your fans. We make your living. And you believe the call log they probably made up. Put a $sign in chat if you think she sold out. What is happening? This is weird. This genuinely doesn't make sense. You are obfuscating what the conversation was prior to talking to Erica. This doesn't sound very convincing. Funny how you won't say that TPUSA said what TPUSA said during the meeting. How can we believe you now? Are you compromised, Candace? Also, why you blinking so much? Why did they make it a private conversation rather than a live video after offering you to come and broadcast it the day prior? Nothing burger, word salad, and hummus. Hummus, wow. This is the most confusing video you've done so far. You're not touching the main bases. You're stuttering too much. Secondhand embarrassed watching this humiliation ritual for Candace. Candace led the fake and gay movement. Fake and gay movement. Just say it's over, babe. Guys, I think it could be aliens or she is a messiah now. So these are people mad at her. And that wasn't every screenshot, y'all. There's more. So why are you blinking so much? So there's more than just that. There's more than that. All right? Oh, this is Candace, by the way. Just so y'all know, this shit is legit. Like, this shit is not off. Just so we're clear. Bitch, the monthly estimated earnings, this shit not off. It's you gonna fall somewhere in between that if you keep up. Basically, this is what you're gonna do if you keep up the momentum you're at. If you don't, like, if nothing dramatic happens, like if something outrageous happens and you cover it and you could just shoot up. If not, if you keep up your trajectory, you falling in between these two numbers. This is a big gap, but I don't know why this isn't going to right now. Charlie Kirk passed in September, and I'm literally trying to see September. That's annoying. Why is it only up to October? Oh, wait. Okay. Oh, no. I tweaked. Okay, I tweaked. So, so I was right. Look at this spike. What's this? August. These are subs. Look what happened in September. Look what happened in September after Charlie Kirk died. Look what happened. These are subs. And then October it dropped. So she got a Charlie Kirk. This has to be a Charlie Kirk following. Like, there's no other explanation for that. What the views doing? Damn it. September. The most views. She has to talk about Charlie Kirk. Now, I'm not saying that people won't watch her otherwise, but this is telling. So her pretending as if she's not making listen. This falls into Candace Owens. Like, this falls into what she does, to be completely fair to her. I don't want to act like that's not true, that this doesn't fall into the type of shit that she does. But for her to sit here and look at Pierre's face and act like she don't know what he's talking about making money is ridiculous. If somebody would be like, so you didn't make a lot of them Stevie Night videos because it made you money, I'd be like, yes. Yes, I made them Stevie Night videos because it made me money. Absolutely. But the difference between the two of us is I wasn't lying about none of the shit I said about him. I wasn't just making up shit. I was covering what, one, my base wanted, and two, my honest thoughts about it. I wasn't feeding into bullshit. It wasn't just nonsense. And not only that, I think it was one video I did that was off topic of what was happening with Stevie Knight and ABBA. I did the one video with Ghostface's son that was diverted, that was not related to ABBA and Preach. But at that point, we were following a story that was the content that this man created. Candace is making up conspiracies by the day to keep this grift going. It's a difference. So, just so we're clear, Candace, don't act like you're not making money off of this, because the truth is you are, and that's why you're a YouTuber.
Crone just can't present one photo of herself raising her kids across 30 years. It's just too much to
Brigitte
ask.
Macron
Oh my gosh, it's ridiculous. How dare you? It's such an intrusion of privacy. She'd rather file a transatlantic lawsuit than to just produce photos and put all of this to bed. That's the difference between you and I. So now there's this repeat lie from Kamala Chronicles, which we did, looking into Kamala's background. Because
that Kamala shit was some bullshit. She kept trying to say that these people were her family members and these people weren't, and it's bullshit. Like, it's just, God.
it was relevant to the election cycle. Then we did the Blake Lively lawsuit, and they said, oh, she's trying to change her brand. That's the only reason her numbers are up. Then we went to Brigitte, which I
didn't watch Birdman yet, Terrence.
I had to get a whole career change when I first covered that story. So joke's on me if I'm doing this to make money, but I was willing to be fired to tell the truth. And then it's all about Brigitte. And now we've arrived at Charlie Kirk. I feel like there's something about that actually is just people not being willing to admit that what people appreciate about me and why they keep coming back is that I'm willing to take risks to tell the truth.
No, I think don't get me wrong.
I was already sold out on ads at the end of the year because our podcast was successful. Yeah, I have not sold a t-shirt, nothing with his name on it. It's just me.
Candace, the reason I told the Alex Jones story
She thinks that it's okay to be like, I haven't sold something that says Charlie Kirk's name. Like, that's not the point.
He did incredibly well out of Sandy Hook with his investigations. But as was established in the court case against him, brought by the families eventually, and I think we're going to see the same thing with Brigitte Macron and you, is that he was weaponizing deliberate lies for money. And I think you
Brigitte
did that.
Macron has a penis. I really want you to know
Macron
that.
This is crazy to say.
Not have a penis.
Brigitte Macron has a penis.
No, she doesn't.
I'm sorry.
She had 3 children.
Did she get it removed?
She had 3 children.
Yeah, you can have adoptive children. You can call somebody, but Brigitte Macron was born a dude named Jean-Michel Chauvenel. Well, and I just feel, I want you to know that. I want you to know that Brigitte Macron
Jean-Michel is our brother.
Probably stands peeing up. Probably standing up.
The beauty is we have a big bet.
I think
we have a big bet, and we're going to find out because it's going to court. And you will lose that court case. I think you will.
Yeah.
None of them, TJ.
I am not going to lose a court case because Brigitte is presenting evidence that Brigitte was born a woman, because that's never even been offered. That's just their PR coming after and saying these things. Nobody believes that Brigitte Macron is just unable to present any pictures. Nobody's asking for blood.
Yes, but she's done it and you deny them. I'm telling y'all, go watch Jose's video, y'all. Jose got I think it's the last video he did about Candace Owens with this Brigitte Macron shit. His name is Jose. His profile picture is a blue jay bird. He covered this shit well, and Candace is lying.
Well, let's wait for the court case. Let's wait for the court case.
Okay, great.
Now, look,
and you will be proven wrong again unless there's just federal corruption.
Okay, in the fallout from your encounter with Erica Kirk, Nick Fuentes said Candace Owens is done.
All out.
What a letdown.
Oh, LOL.
Tim Pool has called you evil.
Yeah, karma is not real.
He says you're most
Look at Trump.
devoted by the fact you were secretly in love with Charlie Kirk. Is that true?
This is such ridiculous. Like, this is funny when I say, like, it's like LOL Fed slop. Oh, did Tim Pool say that I was secretly in love with him? This is it's so. Come on, there's no substance to this. This is so ridiculous. It's, by any means necessary, come out and attack Candace. The New York Post did an article that it was honestly amazing fan fiction. They even said that we used to work at Daily Wire. I'd throw my keys at my staff, and my staff hated me. I did not drive to work a single day when I was at Daily Wire. They had a driver take me there. So we're just now in this weird spot where they're just making things up every single day. They said that my husband had a Qatari passport, and I just ignore it, and I keep investigating because I know what it's meant to do. It's meant to distract me.
Right.
I'm very aware of what these people are trying to do, and it's not working. So I don't really feel
Which of your theories?
Fuentes and Tim Pool.
All right. Which of your theories when you were with Erica did she think was convincing?
We didn't. What do you mean by that?
Well, did she think that Israel was involved? Did she think that there were French paratroopers involved? Did she think the Egyptian planes were complicit? Did she believe that Turning Point employees were involved? Which of the many theories
I wasn't. I guess.
Did she think it's actually got any merit to it?
I think you're characterizing it like I sat down and tried to convince her of my theories. That wasn't the nature of the meeting that we had.
Yes, Ergman, I really hope it could get televised. I swear to God. I don't know if it will, though, but I hope.
Shared information with her and told her, what the feds were ignoring, and these are the things I'm looking into. Obviously, explained to her about the Egyptian planes and this bizarre connection to Turning Point faith events and tours. And yeah, I mean, it was kind of like sharing the information with her. So there was nothing that.
But again, here's my problem, Candace, with the whole thing. Everything is like you're just asking questions, you're sharing information, you're doing it. But when I actually ask you to be specific about who do you think did what, that's where it all hits a shuddering halt. You don't know. Do you? You don't actually know. Anyway.
Of course, if I
you don't actually know anything. Pierce said you don't actually know anything. Because think about it, it's not cool, it's not insightful, it's not like next level thinking when you could just ask stupid questions, you get answers and you reject them, like Lee Harvey Oswald couldn't have killed JFK on his own, or Tyler Robinson couldn't have on his own killed Charlie Kirk. That's not possible. So you think it's cool to ask all these other fucking questions. It's like, you don't know anything.
Actually knew who shot Charlie Kirk, I would be instantly publicizing it. I'd say, I figured it out. That's not how an investigation works. Pierce just doesn't work like that, okay? You have to follow the clue.
Well, you know what, Candace? That's not... Wait.
Publicizing it. I'd say, I figured it out. Of course, if I actually knew who shot Charlie Kirk, I would be instantly publicizing it. I'd say, I figured it out. That's not how an investigation works. Pierce just
Yes, that's not how investigation works. But you know how it does work, Candace? Before you make strong claims, you have evidence to back it up. That's what happens. You don't have anything solid. Why you think the perfect neighbor couldn't get arrested in Florida because of their laws until they had some real proof she just tried to kill somebody for the free ski. So If you want to be an investigator, Candace, you don't jump out the window and just throw all your cards on the table without gathering the information. When CoffeeZilla talks to us, he's gathered the information before he brought it forward. What dude who just outed the NBA ring? Torres, Pablo, whatever. He did the didn't he do the Kawhi Leonard thing, but and then he did, and I think the same guy did the other investigation on Riley Gaines. They looked into Riley Gaines before they came out. They didn't, yeah, the gambling shit, the gambling shit got outed once they had all the evidence. The Kawhi Leonard shit got outed once they had the evidence. And then Riley Gaines, I just saw they did a little investigation on Riley Gaines. They had all the evidence before they came out with shit. Candace, you jump out, something happens, you say, oh my God, what about this? Oh, maroon sweaters, planes. Like, it's just all this goofy shit, and it's just like confusing the people like, oh my God, what happened? Really? It's all these questions that I don't have answers to. Meanwhile, these are meaningless questions that mean nothing. Why was it sunny that day? Do you think that it was an accident? Because if it was snowing, there would have been footprints on the ground. Like, it's just all this dumb shit that nobody needs to ask. She creates these questions that just don't matter. Why are there people wearing maroon? What?
It doesn't work like that, okay? You have to follow the clues until you arrive at a conclusion. Of course.
No, you have a conclusion and you make clues to get to it. You don't follow clues to shit because you don't care about all the evidence that led to Tyler Robinson. You say, no, I don't care about none of that shit. I'm going to make up my own narrative. Now I got to backtrack to figure out a way to get to my narrative that involves France, TPUSA, the American government, Erica Kirk, and Israel.
I cannot confidently state that it was, John Smith who shot Charlie Kirk from the left side. I don't know that yet. I don't know that information yet.
You're ignoring it.
When I do know it, I will publicize it without question. I just am pointing out the inconsistencies, the lies. He was not shot with 30-06, and he did not have a Man of Steel neck,
How do you know?
That's completely made up. Well, actually, that's going to be my show today. I do now factually know that Man of Steel thing was made up, and that never came from the surgeon's mouth. So again, we have another lie. We have another lie coming out of Turning Point USA.
Okay, no, that was bullshit. That thing was bullshit, but that was just some Twitter shit. That was some Twitter shit. I don't think most people took that serious.
In quotation marks that lie, that it was a direct quote from the surgeon. That was made up. So yeah, I'm going to keep
I don't think anybody took that serious.
Track of all of these lies, deliver them to the public, and allow them to surmise. I'm going to allow them to think critically while it's still legal. I know it's barely legal in the UK, and it's becoming increasingly less legal here in the United States. So I'm going to use every opportunity to ask every question.
Okay, but pre the meeting with Erica, you repeatedly questioned why we weren't told where
PTJ.
Charlie Kirk is buried, or even if he has been buried yet. Did you get those answers?
You have the wrong commentator who questioned that. I think that was Milo Yiannopoulos.
You've never asked where Charlie's buried?
Nope. I just communicated to the people that he had a Catholic funeral mass, because people were saying I was lying about him going to a Catholic church, which was another random attack that I had to endure. So I never said that people don't know where Charlie Kirk's buried. That's just the wrong commentator.
Do you know where he's been buried?
I actually genuinely never got to that question with Erica, but I do know where he's. I think the implication that Milo made, again, you have to ask him, was that he's not buried. I do know where there is a spot for him to be buried or to be held in a mausoleum. But I never, that's just, you have the wrong person on that.
Erica was emphatic in the CBS thing that she wanted you to stop with the conspiracy theories, or maybe you've got it all right, and all of this stuff is true, and it's all involving the Israelis and Egypt and Turning Point in a mass conspiracy with this young kid, Tyler Robinson, brought in, and they're all involved in this dramatic murder of Charlie Kirk. Maybe let's just assume for a moment you're 100% right, but she did tell you publicly before you met to stop. What's clear is you're not going to stop. So is she okay with you now continuing to talk about your theories, or does she still want you to stop?
Well, she didn't ask me to stop. Is that the
Yes, she did. She said it to Barry Weiss. She said stop. That's what she said.
That's the question that you're asking is throughout that meeting.
Well, she did
"Can you
publicly,
stop?"
obviously. So your response to that
Exactly.
is what?
I'm telling you that then we had a conversation, and I was not
Okay.
asked throughout that conversation to stop. And to the contrary,
That has nothing. Just because she didn't bring it up again, don't mean she didn't tell you to stop. What the fuck is this?
I shared information that I had, and I got information from them.
Right.
This is,
that
oh
helps
my
you
carry
God.
on.
She's so dishonest.
You'll carry on
Yes.
with the theories.
Yes. Until I feel confident of who killed Charlie Kirk, I will not stop investigating this.
And Erica is okay with you doing
You're never.
that.
I don't know how many other ways to answer your question other than saying she did not ask me or request for me to stop in person. And when we spoke about that moment, she felt that Barry Weiss was being Barry Weiss.
And she made no request of you whatsoever, Erica Kirk, in 4.5 hours,
Request in what sense?
about how she would like you to conduct yourself about the murder of her husband going forward.
No.
Nothing at all.
No,
That
she
is
didn't request
weird.
for me
That's
to
weird to
conduct
say.
myself in
And she
any way
expressed
going
no
forward.
concern
I mean,
about
I
any of the
think-
theories that you've been
I
putting
think
out.
she probably knows me through the lens of her husband, so I don't know if that would be a thing that she would have done. But no, she did not ask me to conduct myself in any way. That seems to just be coming from the media. how I should conduct myself.
Am I right in thinking that your mind has taken you to a place where you genuinely believe that Israel, Egypt, Turning Point employees, and Tyler Robinson, and potentially others, but they were all involved in the murder of Charlie Kirk?
Well, to be fair, I think we're all putting Egypt in parentheses because we kind of don't think that we have exactly a strong Egyptian lobby here in the United States. And there is a lot of historical precedent with Israel kind of using Egyptian planes or using the Egyptian narrative when they want to accomplish things. So, I mean, I just pointed out that this is an Egyptian plane, but Israel, I got tons of questions about. Yeah, I think Israel is a very good place to start when Bibi Netanyahu was just denying and just way too involved in the beginning. That was weird. Everyone felt it was weird, and they were right to feel that it was weird. And when Bibi admits that he called him 2 weeks before and invited him to Israel.
To be fair, I don't know about that. I didn't know. Does anybody know? Did Bibi like say that without any question, or just after jumping out the window? I didn't kill Charlie Kirk, or did he say it after Candace Owens accused him? Did anybody accuse him? I don't know why. That's weird. I don't know what that's about. I don't know what that's about. The Bibi Netanyahu saying he didn't kill Charlie Kirk, if he actually said it.
Like, what's that about? People are being, and also because it just happens to be that from the very beginning, Zionists don't want us investigating the Charlie Kirk assassination. So it's just, I would say, the usual suspects. You are correct that I have and sent information.
True crime. So did he just say that for no reason? Chronic. So somebody asked him about it, and he said that because that totally changes the context of her acting like he jumped out the window and just said, I didn't kill Charlie Kirk. Like, that sounds crazy.
And it has not been denied by the Elysee Palace, the White House, or the Pentagon that the French Foreign Legion was on the ground that day. Again, something that I flagged to Turning Point USA, Justin Strife, that for whatever reason, the feds don't want this information, which is a bit strange.
Yeah, she took Alex Jones'
the French
mantle.
Foreign Legion to the list as well.
Yeah, but the French Foreign Legion is like a bandit of,
See, this is just a fucking lie. So she's not providing the context that he was asked something about Charlie Kirk. And maybe when I cut this into a VOD, if I can find it, I'll add it. But Jesus Christ.
What I've learned about them now is it's a bunch of different countries. It's not just French people. And yeah, that all sounds about right to me. Is there anything else I can answer?
You know, I think we've probably covered it. There's a lot of people involved in this murder. And my guess, Candace, for what it's worth, is it'll turn out none of that is true. And that it was Tyler Robinson who, for his own politically motivated reasons, hence brandishing the bullet casings with words like anti-fascist slogans and so on.
Derek, you're saying the opposite of what two other people said.
Charlie Kirk was a fascist, so he had to kill him. Which is a different issue about why I feel so strongly that these words should be.
And I know you like to bullshit. I feel like you bullshitting.
Because in deranged young minds, it can have that effect on them. We see it time and again. But look, if it turns out that you're right and that Charlie Kirk was murdered by a group
you
of
still
people,
a thing?
The French Foreign Legion, Egypt, Israel, Turning Point,
Egypt,
his own employees, and they were all in on this to murder Charlie Kirk, you will be proven 100% right. And I will be the first to salute your brilliant investigative journalism.
Chronic.
But in return, if it turns out you're completely wrong, then I would expect you to come back on Uncensored and admit you were completely wrong. Is that a fair deal?
I was hoping that by the time we did this, I'd be able to do that because they showed me something that was so compelling. That didn't happen. So
Girl,
yeah,
you ain't get no fuck.
deal is on, as always. Between you and I, the deal is on.
Excellent. I'll add it to the list. Candace, I want to wish you a Merry Christmas. We're both Christians. We have that in common.
Okay.